All right, Tom, you ready? Yep. Go ahead, kick us off.
Chris, what's the mood within the team right now?
Frustrated for sure. I think every individual in that locker room is definitely not happy. I mean, we're all competitors, and yeah, we look back on previous results, and nobody's happy. But it's not now. It's not about looking backwards. It's about looking forwards, looking to the next game. This is honestly a great week where we can put games behind us really quick and look forward to the next game immediately. And all of our energy has to go to that. Every single piece of preparation, looking back on previous mistakes, how we can get better at that. All of that has to be 100% focus right now.
Is this a case on Wednesday where just a good effort isn't enough, that you guys really need to win this game?
Yeah, I would view that we come onto the pitch expecting to win every single time. So that view doesn't change. I would definitely double down on the 100% effort. I think effort is not just just working hard out there. It's taking pride in the effort that you put in, pride in the duels that you win. And I think we need a little bit more of that. That's nothing controversial to say, I think. I think everybody can muster up a little bit more desire to win.
Is that the big thing, the big change that has to happen going forward from Saturday to Wednesday?
Yeah, I just want to see 11 guys out there plus 4 or 5 that come in that give everything for the man next to them. That's all I want to see. And I think that is a massive part of team sports, is how much am I going to work, not for just myself, but for the guy next to me. And I think we'll all be looking for that because, each and every single one of us needs to step up.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, that's really well said. And I was just wanted to follow up on that. Like, so how, as a team leader, or how does the coach, how do you get these 11 men to do that, to invest in that? Is it a verbal thing? Is it a mental thing?
It's everything. It's leading by example. It's verbal. It's the standards we set. I think points have been made in the locker room that, we can get content with just how it's going, but it takes a real effort to turn things around. You have to show up to the facility saying, I'm going to change how we're approaching every single thing today. It's about the approach. And if you view the coming to the facility as, oh, I have to come play soccer today, that's not the right mentality. We get to, and we need to take pride in our job because it goes by really quick. And I mean, I feel like I'm still 16. So, and now I'm 25 with a kid on the way. I'm like, damn, I'm growing up. So like we all need to feel that.
Thank you.
Justin?
Chris, in your time recovering from injury and just being away from the team, but maybe having a more zoomed out view of what's been happening, has that kind of been your takeaway of just needing to bring that effort on a more daily basis?
Yeah, it's been really tough to be away from the group. I've gone 7 or 8 years in my career without any setback, and it's been 2 this past year, which has been difficult to deal with. But that's another side of the game that you have to prepare for and find the mental strength to get through that. It's not just the sentiment that I share; it's a sentiment that a lot of guys share in the locker room. And I think everybody agrees with it in the locker room. But there's one thing with agreeing with it, and there's another thing in doing it. Everybody says, I can put 11 guys out there who can work hard. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think, it takes a specific skill. How much can you get out of yourself? How much can you grind? How much can you get into the weeds and just muster out points? The critical moments right now, everything, just doubling down. I think that those are the big focus. It's not on, how creative we can be and skill and all this. We have guys that can do that, but I think it's not a sentiment that just I share.
And then having this game on Wednesday, where a direct rematch from the game this past Saturday that had like some of those issues that you talked about, is it maybe a good thing then to have such a direct comparison coming right up?
Yeah, I think it'll be. Obviously we do our tactical plan; they do theirs. It won't be a complete identical game. But we know what they bring. They'll lump it in from anywhere with their goalie on set pieces. They create a certain amount of energy off of those chances. But I'd argue that we had our fair share of, opportunities that can turn into chances. It's just the small things that are missing right now. I keep going back to the critical moments. That final pass, that tackle one. We took pride earlier in the year in not letting the ball go back into the back of the net. I feel like we're losing that a little bit of that pride as well. So I'm not picking out the attackers or the defenders, and the midfielders. It's everybody. Everybody needs to do their job and step up and take pride in it.
We'll go virtually. Jeremy Clemens.
Chris, I'm curious, coming back into the team since you've been out, do you notice anything coming back in tactically that maybe needs adjusted, or do you just think it's a matter of building on relationships like Olof had said in weeks past?
Yeah, I think I would say that it's definitely building on relationships as well. You continue to see new partnerships out on the pitch, and guys still getting to know each other in certain areas. I think there's been really good tactical flexibility from guys like, Kyle Hebert, Conrad, Akil, guys that we've called upon to play a lot of positions, and that's not easy. And I think they're doing a really good job at that. And then it's also tactically, how much can we carry out that game plan? I think we're, like I said a couple moments ago, we're almost there. It's just about connecting those final passes. We're getting guys into the box defending. Can we win that duel? Can we win that header? All those things, I think, play a part.
Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, we kind of went through this situation last year with Bradley, and I think you went through this in your time at DC. The pressure on Olof Mellberg right now is intense. Any game you don't win might well be his last. What is that like for you guys, knowing that the coach's job is very much on the line?
Yeah, I think it's what we can do is give our best on the pitch. I think fighting for our coach, fighting for the guy who takes all the heat is tough, and I feel for Olof. I feel like the game plans have been set up well. It's just execution on our part as well. So I think it's a balance of everything. Yes, Olof may be under pressure. There's rumors, there's this, there's that. All we can focus on is Wednesday and giving our best shot there. And I'm telling you, we're right there. I really do feel that, but it's our approach.
I mean, when you talk about the job he's done, I mean, how has it been on the inside? Some things are a little different from how they've been in the past. How has it gone?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough for me to completely say because I've been out for an extended part of this year. I think Olaf's a guy who's pretty straightforward. You know what you're going to get from him, and he's been direct in his messaging. So I think it's really important that we, like I said before, rally around each other, rally around the fact that every game is an opportunity to, there could be like, was it 9 games without a point or without a win, something like that. It's always the next game. And if we start off with a win on Wednesday, it always trickles down. So it's always what can you give the next game? And we have an amazing opportunity against Minnesota in a great atmosphere. What an opportunity.
Did you get through the tornado okay?
Yeah, everything was fine. I'm really feeling for, the city of St. Louis. Obviously, extremely devastating. But if I know one thing, it's, people from St. Louis have each other's back. So I know that the city will make it out.
Are you still
fine.
living in Clayton?
We're in Chesterfield now. Yeah.
David.
And then with all the talk about effort, especially coming back after a long time off the pitch, how hard is it to avoid the temptation, whether it's you or even a teammate, of trying to do too much and be the hero, so to speak?
Yeah, that's a good question. It is about playing within your role. I know I've struggled with that in my career at times, of trying to do somebody else's job, and sometimes that's to the detriment of my own job. And that's just with experience and continuing to understand that. I think that, when you've got other guys that are giving half for somebody else, it all works out. At the beginning of the year, we weren't always tactically set up the best, or there were images where on the field a guy was out of position, but another guy backed him up, another guy made the play, and that's what kept the ball out of the back of the net. And I think we've lost that feel a little bit, something to hold on to, like, hey, we haven't conceded a goal yet. We need to get back to those ways. But yeah, I agree. It's doubling down on what you can do in your role, because if you're doing somebody else's, you might be taken away from yourself.
We go back virtually to John Lupo, then to Jeremy Clements.
Chris,
The game against Minnesota on Saturday, as you said, this one will be different because no two games are the same, even against the same opponent back to back. But you only had 13 touches of the ball in their box over the entire game on Saturday. I know Conrad also came into the team and was playing a little higher. How do you sort of connect him playing in a more advanced role and getting more touches in their box so you can create more opportunities than just the 5 shots on target that you had?
Yeah, I would say there was only 13 touches in the box, but there was plenty of times to cross the ball. There was plenty of moments within the game that could lead to more touches in the box. So I don't think it's necessarily that we struggled offensively the entire game. I think, we need to commit to more service, more men in the box, because it's hard to score when you have maybe just Seti in the box at a time. You need guys running into the box, committing fully to that feeling, hey, I'm going to get on the end of this cross. So it's not a culmination. It's a culmination of a lot of things, not just how well we can play around them to get through. It is service. It is a lot of different things.
Jeremy?
Yep. Chris, historically, over the last 5 years, MLS teams looking to make the playoffs just to get to 9th place, it's somewhere around 45 points. Sitting on 11 points now, you guys would have to get about 55% of the points in your remaining fixtures just to kind of get near that realm. Is there still a feeling in the locker room that that's possible this season?
Yeah, 100%. I think there's always belief. There always has to be belief within the individual. And then when there's belief in the individual, it then gets spread amongst the group. And I think when you have enough guys preaching that message, hey, we can do this. We can get 3 points each and every time we step on the pitch. That belief, I think, then transpires into action. Coming in and thinking, hey, let's just try and survive today or something like that, it's never going to work. So I think the group is doing a good job right now of really focusing on what we want out of this. What does our approach need to be? And when we figure that out, then I think the quality that we have within the group will show.
We wrap things up with Tom.
How fit are you? Are you 90 minutes ready yet, or how's that coming along?
I've been working really hard. I trust in my body that whatever the coach asks of me to do, I will do. It's a game where you're always expected to leave everything out there, for your team. So whatever's called upon me, I will do. And it's for the medical staff and everybody else to deem how many minutes I am fit.
Chris, thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
How do you see your situation right now with how the team's done and the pressure you're feeling right now?
I always put a lot of pressure on myself, regardless of the results. We had a really good start to the season, but still wanted to really improve from there. We were still not happy. So obviously, after having this really, really tough period, extremely disappointed with the result, and with that pressure comes not only from myself, from everywhere, but that's just part of the job.
So, is there the feeling though now, as the streak hits 10 games and you talked last week that every game is essentially a must-win game. Is there a feel, how do you feel about your job security at this point if you don't start winning?
I don't think too much about that, to be honest. Now we have a lot of games. We have a game Wednesday, Saturday as well. So we're just looking at next game and how to win that.
And how do you approach Wednesday's game? It's an Open Cup game. It's not a league match. How you look at that, because you guys do need to win regardless of the competition, it would seem.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to that one. A really disappointing result on Saturday, but a lot to build on and a lot to learn from. So I think we should have a good possibility of winning that one, and that's our goal. We have a lot of games now, so might see some changes, but we're definitely taking this cup seriously as well.
Go ahead, Ben.
You mentioned the word changes. What changes can be made, should be made within the team, whether it's on the field or attitude or whatever you tell me, that could make the team start winning?
Yeah, we had a pretty clear view. Today we had the post-game analysis, and it's pretty clear why Minnesota are where they are, and we are where we are in the table. And also the result on Saturday. I think just by looking at the game, the picture of it. It looks fine, but in the deciding moments when it really matters, they were better than us.
And then what surprised you about this season so far with St. Louis City SC? What has something surprised you with the way things have gone? I'll ask you, what surprised you?
What has surprised me? Yeah, it has surprised me. It surprised me a little bit the start we had with not conceding in several games. I was really pleasantly surprised with that. With the way we defended as a team and individually as well. And after that, I've been surprised that we haven't picked up more points and to be able to build on that good start. I wouldn't say surprised, more disappointed. We also know some of the reasons behind that, but still was obviously expecting to pick up more points from this period.
Justin.
Coach, when Chris Durkin was in here earlier, he said that one of his big takeaways was just in the consistent effort that the group needs to have in terms of pride of winning duels and just being in those moments. Has that been a big takeaway from some of the team talks of after Saturday and today, and then after Wednesday as well, of just taking more pride in those moments?
Yeah, and I mean, I think you could see that when Chris coming on, goes all in every situation. And it's important, regardless of the positions you have, how you set up tactically. Football is in the end about winning those individual battles. The 1v1 situations, the second balls, aerial duels, all of that is so important to. In the end, all across the pitch, is obviously especially in the final third. Good point from Chris, and I agree.
We go to Tamar.
Marcel Hardo was very honest when he said there are a lot of conversations after the match. There have been in the past couple of weeks. I know you can't tell me exactly what's being said, but do you feel a level of intensity heighten in just some of those conversations of how the players are interacting with one another, wanting to get that result?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you probably heard Chris speak about that. We wanna do better. We're looking on how to improve, and how to take accountability as well. And that's starts with me and should run through the whole club. Including the players. And yeah, I hope good things will come from those conversations and meetings for sure.
Matt. Fuck you. Thanks.
This was one of the first games this past weekend where you guys had more passes than the other team in the opposition half, but you still had the issue with getting touches in the box. Chris mentioned the need for more service. So when it comes to just the struggles in the final third, and obviously I know that this is not just last week, this is the whole season at this point. Is it the lack of passing? Is it the lack of off-ball movement? Is it the lack of guys just taking the chance when the runner is there? What are the issues that are causing such problems in the final third, even when you do in a game control the ball in the opposition half for the first time?
Yeah, there are various things, and we look at them and we can see that pretty clearly. Again, as I said, post-game analysis, and we can definitely see where we can improve. And it's not exactly the same all the time. Sometimes it's positioning, where when I or we can really help them, get into better positions, and sometimes it's execution, where we need to improve. So yeah, we have a pretty clear idea. We had it before the game, and we can see it after the game as well. So yeah, for sure. And now we play them again on Wednesday. So a good opportunity to you know for you to hopefully see those improvements.
We'll go virtual in this order. John Looper, Jeremy, and then Matt. Go ahead, John.
Olaf, I believe Minnesota scored a goal on Saturday off of set pieces. So what do you think has to improve in that regard to not only let them get set pieces, but not to give them as much space, not let their attacking players get forward to give them opportunities?
Yeah, that's definitely an area we need to improve. I think in these kind of games, if you compare this game to the San Diego game away in the beginning of the season, where they have a lot more situations in the final third, many more final third entries, and we managed to defend so well for long periods of time. And the other day they didn't have that many entries and score 3 goals. So yeah, obviously that's we really need to improve there. First contact on the ball, second balls. Yeah, we have quite a lot of bodies in the box as well for the chances and a couple of the goals. So yeah, we're definitely looking to improve there. Too many goals conceded. Looking at how many chances the opponents have and how many final third entries they have.
Jeremy.
Coach, I'm curious, with some of the stories that have been being posted around social media today about your job security, I'm curious to know, has there been any change in a date of expected turnaround or anything you can share on that front?
No, not that I know of. No.
Matt.
Coach, upcoming with the game on Wednesday, are you making any changes to your staff ahead of Wednesday's match?
In my staff?
Your staff.
Not that I know of, no.
Okay. Player availability. Can you talk about whether or not you expect to have some of the players who missed this weekend available for Wednesday, like Jonas Horn, Henry Kessler, Eddie Leuven?
Yeah, I think. I mean, Chris was involved, but he had a great few minutes. I thought so. I think he should be available to start on Wednesday, which is very positive. Henry will still evaluating. It's a question mark at the moment for Wednesday. Help me, Cash.
Giannis.
Yeah, Giannis. We said Giannis was training today, so we hope he could be available. If not Wednesday, Saturday. Edu was also training, but hasn't been in that much team training. So yeah, it's a constant dialogue with him on how we can use him in the next few games.
And then any update on Joey Zielinski?
Joey as well. Joey, I don't think it's too bad he wasn't training today, but had a twisted ankle. It was really swollen the other day, so he couldn't play. But yeah, he might be available for Wednesday.
Thanks, Matt. We'll wrap things up in the room with Tom Timmerman.
Oh, and Alfredo Morales was back out today?
Alfie was training by himself today, so he won't be available for Wednesday, but he's looking good. I spoke to him as well, and he feel confident.
It seems like we're quoting Chris Durkin a lot, but he was saying the move of the team is kind of frustrated. What can you do to? Because the reasons for the frustration would be obvious. What can you do to the team? Because the team, I think, probably looked frustrated on Saturday night in Minnesota. And what do you do to deal with a frustrated team?
We win. Mm-hmm. That's the secret. It's easier said than done at the moment, but for sure. I mean, we're obviously looking at this, all of these things that made us lose the game the other day. And, again, why Minnesota are where they are and we are where we are. It's not coincidence, and when you really look at the game in detail, you can see those differences between the two teams. And, and I think these are fixable things, That's why I think the future is good for this team. But it's obvious that we need to pick up points very soon.
And the way the last two games have gone, the Sporting Kansas City game and then the Minnesota game, and obviously that I think speaks to the frustration. What have those film sessions been like when you go through those? Have they been different in any way?
The session,
The film sessions, yeah, the Monday
film
morning or Tuesday morning film sessions.
I mean, we're always trying to be constructive, but not pointing fingers too much at individuals. Just really seeing how we can improve as a team and how we can demand things of each other. So we're really trying to use those meetings to really pinpoint the areas which make a difference. But obviously also we'll look at the positives. There were quite a lot of positives the other day, especially from individuals. I thought some of the players had really good performances. A lot of people feel that everything is a disaster when you lose 3-0, but we're trying to be focused on and really see how we can improve.
Yeah, but now do you need to see wins rather than just progress? I mean, you need to see the actual results rather than getting better?
I think so. I think so. We want to see progress as well. But as I said in the beginning of the season, we had this really good run in the beginning, but we still wanted to see progress. And in a way, it's easier to really be constructive and be a little bit more critical in those periods because we know we're doing well results-wise and everything. And in this period we have now, it's a balance because everybody's disappointed and you feel after a game that everything is bad, So that's why it's important to really try to analyze things for what they are rather than the result.
I don't know what part of town you live in, but you come through the tornado? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I live in that area. I wasn't home at the time. My wife was, so it was right there, in Central West End. Terrible, obviously, especially for the victims, and everybody affected. So we send our thoughts to them.
Do you have power?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Well, that makes it better.
Yeah.
Thanks,
for
Tom.
sure.
Coach,
All right.
thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.